Get away from that car, stop. Stop right there. Look, it's moving, that's a classic. It's been hit, but fate brought it to the store. I wanted you to hear it roar again. My mom cried, and my dad stayed quiet. This car holds a special place in our hearts. Wanna join us for dinner? I'm still on the lookout for an invitee. I should head home for a quick rest. You can fish in up here. I gotta switch things up. I don't want to do this sneaky stuff. No way that's happening, dude. Come on. Everyone's pleading for her. Even if Dad's super reluctant, he ended up siding with it. After dinner, they all gathered in a huff while Dad bombarded David with questions, asking about family, jobs, and future plans. Turns out, he runs a struggling auto shop with his dad. His remarks dripped with disdain until David announced he was going back to school and wanted to help at the shop. Dad barely relaxed, not because David was becoming the mini-boss, but because he saw this business as just alright. The grin was mainly due to David's remark. Turns out, it's all about the daughter's future. Had already lined up for him to study abroad in med school a month from now. Bye-bye, daughter. He was worried David would chase him around, but now he knows David didn't want to continue school, and soon enough, the fate was sealed. So Dad backed off. Under David's lead, Jude visited the bar his dad praised for an art show for the first time. They played around the fountain downtown and hit up a music festival to feel the pulse of youth. 3 weeks together sparked something fierce. That night, as they parted, Jude seemed to set his mind on something big. With David begging him to stay, Jude was more determined than ever to rebel against his dad's plans. After he found out, Dad jumped to the conclusion that David had enchanted his daughter. After many rounds of guidance, he planned a week at the beach for the family to break them up. Dad knew deep down that his daughter was in love, and other than him, the family was backing her. This was the only way to get results. But he wasn't quite satisfied. He recalled his earlier promise of letting them date, compounded by the fact that David's mom was around. He forced himself to suppress the urge to shout. Watching them together made him want to bring David home, but he simply couldn't. Yet, he couldn't bring himself to do it. At the beach, he told his wife about their daughter's plan to quit school for David. No father doesn't wish his daughter happiness. He's no exception, despite being controlling. After his wife's talk, he approached David with a proposal. This was essentially a precondition for being with his daughter. David had to help him convince Jude to pursue further studies at med school, and in exchange, Dad promised not to interfere in their relationship anymore. David, wishing the best for Jude, happily accepted. From then on, there were no more obstacles. But this carefree bliss didn't last past 3 days. That night, as David went to the warehouse for something, he accidentally ran into his future father-in-law. And he caught a glimpse of him with a local lady. Through their chat, Dad suspected David had figured out their secret. The next day, at his request, they found themselves in the middle of a lake. No testing the waters, he went straight to the point. Keep it a secret. Don't tell anyone. This is why you brought me out, but I warn you, if she finds out, I'm a goner. Even if Dad hadn't approached him for Jude's family peace, he'd keep the secret. That's how genuine he was. However, paranoid, Dad didn't buy his promises. Knowing the truth, David remained a ticking time bomb. Put simply, murder was off the table in today's world. After thinking, he had a plan. He ended the vacation and hired a schoolmate for Jude and David's party. Then, gently guiding them, took them to a closed-down zoo with signs reading no entry. Just as they were having fun, he slyly called the police. David distracted them to cover for Jude and his friends and was soon arrested. Back home, a panicked Jude told his parents how David got snagged trying to save him, and thanks to David, I'm still out. No way you're changing for David. This can't be good. That's precisely the magical line he was eagerly waiting for. Pretending to think it through, he pitched a deal. He'd get David out if Jude promised to hit the books. No more David. Faced with such unreasonable demands, Jude immediately agreed. After all, breaking promises isn't a crime. He had a backup plan. Once he bailed David out, he didn't rush to leave. Instead, he started slinging insults about David's dad, dropping all kinds of derogatory words, finally ticking him off and making him lash out. As a result, Dad limped home, full of bruises, by morning. He recounted how David had tackled him, and Jude bolted out of the house, looking stunned. Jude rushed to David to uncover the truth, but when David revealed it, Jude was filled with doubts and simply couldn't bring himself to believe it. After all, Jude's dad and David's just didn't mix. No way had trash-talk David's dad. Both oblivious to the underlying scheme, the two got into it just when Jude was halfway leaving and headed home to interrogate Dad. Fate took a turn. Jude ended up in a hospital. David's dad showed up to check on him. When quizzed about how he was doing, things got tense. Knowing his lie would eventually unravel through his daughter's trust in David, he pulled out the big guns, a letter with a medical report. If David kept hanging around, you'd head to him. At that point, this place would be no sanctuary for David. YouTube's prompt for encouraging subscriptions.